Hello, today we are going to create an Among Us character, and then we are also going to add a logo text to it to customize it. So the very first thing we need to do is go into photopea.com. Once you are here, you will see this screen pop up. We're going to click New Project. And then in the New Project category, you want to go to Print. We are going to change the actual width and height to 800, not 8,000, by 800. This gives us a pretty decent template to work on. We're going to choose letter 8.5 by 11 and create. So this is going to be the palette that we are working on. And now we need to go and find our Among Us character. Now, if you are good at drawing, you can absolutely, by all means, freehand this. You can be as creative as possible. I'm just going to show you guys, for those of you who are not as inclined to be able to draw characters, how to do that. So in Google, you can search for Among Us characters. You're going to get a whole bunch of different ones. You could look at like the ones that say imposter, you can say ghost, maybe a snowman, a Christmas theme, whatever it is. Like there's this Easter bunny one, which is kind of cool. And you can go ahead and say view all. And what you're going to look for, you can actually really find any of these ones. And maybe I'll just do a simple one for the sake of this tutorial. So I'm just going to choose this guy here. Obviously, I could freehand this, but just for the sake of showing you guys what we are doing, we're going to click this one. So if you right click, you can hit copy image, go back over to your Photopea. You're going to go down to edit, and we are going to paste. Now this guy is going to be pretty little, so you need to make sure your transform controls are selected on, so these squares are around it, and then you can hold shift and drag the boxes to make it big. It's not going to make a big difference if you don't hold down shift for this, because we're actually creating our own. So now we have this guy on top here. We're just going to use this as a tracing tutorial. So up here on the right hand side where it says opacity, you're going to change that to about 50%. Doesn't have to be an exact science, as long as you can still see it, but it's not overwhelming your page. And then you're going to click this background layer. Make sure that this one is selected, or this is not going to work. You are going to go over here and you are going to make sure you have black color. You are going to get your brush. You are going to select brush tool. And then you can choose your size. 15 is a little too small for me. I'm going to make sure my hardness is at 100, but I want one of these hard brushes that you can see the full circle, because it's going to help for the drawing. Mine is going to be, I'm just going to type in 30 for this one. You can make it thicker if you want it. You can make it thinner if you want to, but that's where I'm going to start. And then you're going to come over here to your image, and we're simply going to trace the image. If you get out of the line, no big deal. What I like to do too is, so like I'm going to unclick my mouse right here instead of continuing forward, just in case I do mess up, you don't have to start completely back over. You want to make sure that your lines are all connecting, so when we do the fill color, that it doesn't bleed out into the entire page. So just make sure that whatever you draw, that you completely close in that space. So keep going. Again, you guys, if it's not directly over the actual part that you were drawing, not a big deal whatsoever, because you'll see when we take that layer off, it's just going to be whatever you drew. So, and I'll show you guys that in a second. And this guy here. Okay, so this is the basic one. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come over here to my layers palette, and I'm gonna shut that top layer off. So this is my work. This was what it looked like before. This is without. And I am going to add a headpiece, because what is Fortnite without one? So I'm just gonna draw my little line, and I'm gonna do a flower. You guys can do just like the circle thing. You really can do whatever you would like. Ooh, that's not going to be a good thing. I'm going to have to go and fix that. So remember how I told you guys you want to make sure that your lines are all connected, and I will show you why here in 1 second. Ooh, this flower is not the most beauteous. That's okay though. So right here, this is not connected. So if you see this little piece here, I'm going to show you why it needs to be connected. So we're going to go ahead and start to color in our Among Us characters. So this gradient tool, or paint bucket tool is what you're going to want. If it's gradient, you're going to right click, get to your paint bucket tool. We are going to choose a color. So my flower, I want it to be varying shades of this like pinkish color. So I'm going to choose that one to start. So if I have my paint bucket tool and it's not fully closed, it's going to go into both of those. Okay. I don't want that. So I'm going to hit Command Z. I'm going to get my black brush again, and I'm just going to go in and close that spot. Okay. So now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to get my paint bucket tool. I'm going to go to pink color, and I'm going to show you guys the difference. So now, because it's closed, see, it doesn't bleed into the other categories. Okay. And I didn't do an even amount, so I am just going to play around, change my colors up just a touch so it looks intentional instead of what I did do, which was not very intentional. Just keep finding different color shades. And there. Now when you want to switch colors, again, just go down to the bottom. I'm going to pick a yellow for the center here. And then my Among Us character today is going to be some shade of like pinkish purple. I think a little more purple. So I'm going to go and click this one. Again, I want them to be varying shades because if not, they look too one-dimensional, and I want them to be a little bit more fun. So all different shades. So there is my Among Us character. Again, you guys, paint bucket is what you're going to do all of those steps with. Super, super simple. So now we have our character, and he is looking pretty awesome. And we just need to add this text so that it's a customized actual Among Us character. Yes, we drew it. Yes, we colored it. But now let's make him have some sort of name. So what you're going to do is you're going to go over and you're going to find your text tool on the left-hand side. You are going to get make sure it's just your type tool. I like EDO is the text I like for this one. You guys can choose whatever you would like, but EDO looks pretty cool. If I can find it. Okay, and then your size of your text is going to be roughly 1,000. Now, it could change, and then you want to choose a color. So you could choose any color you want. I'm putting this onto my character, so I'm going to use white. You could actually use like a lighter shade of like this blue color. Actually, I'll do that just for funsies. And then you're going to go ahead and click your text on here. And our Among Us character, whatever initial name that you want. I'm going to do an F because flower. Why not? Okay. So now we have this text, and we could leave it just as that, but it doesn't look as super cool and epic as I would hope. So what you are going to do now is we're going to go over here from normal, and we are going to change our blend mode down to overlay. Okay, and what that does is it is going to just kind of make it look a little bit more vibrant. And then you're going to come over here, and we are going to double click this text layer. And it's going to bring up this huge chart. And what we are going to want to do is we are going to change the color to whatever you want. So first and foremost, we want to find where it says Inner Glow. Okay, and then once we do Inner Glow, we are going to, let's see here, change the color to what you want it. So why isn't it giving me a color option? Give me 1 second. Okay, so again, we're going to go to Inner Glow. You're going to make sure that this is selected. So if you just have the check mark on it, it's not going to work, so make sure you click that. And then once you're in here, this is where you're going to do all of the changes to it. Your blend mode is going to be set to color dodge. Your opacity, we're going to put at 100. We are going to choose a color for it. I'm going to pick this like nice soft yellow color. Really, you could do whatever color you would like. Down here for the spread, we're going to adjust that to 4. And for size, we're going to adjust that to 20. Everything else looks pretty good. So again, when you're in your inner glow, you need to make sure that this is fully highlighted and you're going to click OK. So that doesn't look like it did much, but you will see in the next step what it actually does. So then over here, we are going to right click. We are going to duplicate our layer. Command Z, I did not mean to do that. Make sure you are on the text one before you duplicate it. So on the text layer, you're going to right click and we are going to duplicate our layer. Okay, then you're going to click this bottom layer, the text bottom layer. Okay, and we are going to make sure that we have the free transform. So we'll go edit down to free transform, just in case it wasn't there for you guys. And then we are going to hold shift and we are going to drag this a little bit bigger. Now, once you get it to be where it's a little bit bigger, you can see that there's a difference. You're going to come over here. We are going to change the opacity to 50%. You could go lighter if you would like. I think I'm actually going to. I'm going to put mine around 35. And we have our Among Us character. Now, you guys can add anything and everything that you guys would like from this point. You guys could spend more time drawing your character. Excuse me, your character. It is your choice. But here is our basic Among Us character with our letter. Now, if you guys wanted to move your character, your letters, if you hold down shift on both of those layers, you can like bring it up here. And we can make it smaller so it's just like in the face mask or the face guard, whatever they call these. I don't even know. The sky is the limit on what you want to do. So I hope you guys have fun making your Among Us characters.